Welcome to Green Talk by Green Care Solutions on KCAA, NBC Radio, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and YouTube. Today we have actor, comedian, and cannabis icon, and one of my good friends, Mr. Tommy Chong, the legendary. And I'm your...
Sit down.
I'm your host.
Standing ovation.
I'm your host, Breal, and I'm here with my co-hosts.
What's up, everybody? It's Bryan Gonzales here representing Green Care Solutions.
Hey, everyone. It's Yenitza Munoz. So this is a cannabis-friendly and educational show. You must be 21 years of age to listen. We're not doctors, but Green Care Solutions has doctors for you.
Yeah, so if you have any questions, feel free to give us a call at 951-609-4071. We are a 13-time award-winning company featured in Forbes, Yahoo Finance, and next month we'll be on another. Follow us on our Instagram at Green Care Solutions 420, as well as our websites, greencaresolutions.com, and for the show, greentalknews.com.
Word up. Let's get into the show with my man, Tommy Chong.
Ooh,
Welcome.
Thank you for coming on down over here. I mean, I know we're all, Los Angeles natives, but traffic can be a little crazy.
Now, one thing about coming into the hood, if you're from the hood, you automatically just appear.
It's like magic.
It does.
It's
It
like
doesn't
magic.
matter where you are. Next thing you know, I feel comfortable.
It's good to see you, man.
Good to see you, too.
It's-
Oh, by the way, I was outside your building trying to get in, and some guy in a car pulled up in a suit, and he got out, and he said, to me, he said, "Do you work here?" I said, "No." And I said, but I said, do you work here? Or do you know anybody here? He goes, I own the building. I said, oh. I said, so can you phone someone and tell them that I'm out here? And he goes, well, I don't have the number with me. Then he got in his car and left.
Sketchy. But then I walked out. I finally.
It could be the CIA or somebody.
They're always watching us.
I know they are, man. That's what that was my first thought. I said, oh, they're under surveillance.
Well, yeah, the building next door some years back when we first moved in here, they were doing cultivation next door. They asked for an upgrade on their receivers to the building, as far as electricity and whatnot, right? But they didn't, they didn't upgrade the other end, right? So it blew out the block.
Oh, the whole block.
Yeah, and it put them guys next door, well, the former, guys under surveillance for a minute, and then eventually they got raided. So every now and then we'll get some sketchy looking law enforcement type.
That's what he was, by the way. He did not look like an owner of a building. And besides, owners of buildings never admitted.
No, they're like,
oh no, I just work for somebody.
yeah.
And they usually never show up.
I'm just the property manager.
Yeah, that's it.
And by the way, the owner of the building is an old lady.
Oh, there you go.
That's what it was. And that was interesting.
That's so funny. We had Montel Williams on the show about like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and he walked in, very confident. Well, he's a very confident man. He just walked in, and one of the engineers kind of just didn't see his face, kind of saw his back, and thought it was a police officer.
Sure.
I was like, no, it's Montel Williams.
So we don't dress like that around here.
Yeah.
He was all dapper.
How's Montel? How's he doing?
Amazing.
He was great, man. I got to say, out of a lot of the advocates and activists that have come along from the entertainment industry, I'd say he's one of the most well-educated
he's smart.
people in terms of
So smart.
I mean, just, period. But in cannabis culture and information, I mean, he is a vast well of information.
But he doesn't like being treated like a brother.
Yeah. No.
Like you say, hey, what's up, brother? He's, I'm not your brother.
Oh, very proper, I
He's
suppose.
very proper.
Yes.
I think that's the military training too.
Of course.
Yes.
Of course.
Because he was a former Marine.
That
Right?
was like
Yeah.
20
Navy SEAL.
something years.
20
Navy
years.
SEAL, yeah.
Navy SEAL,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, they get indoctrinated. But Montel's a good guy, man.
Yeah.
He's been, he's got, MS?
Yeah.
Yes, and he's
for-
a stroke
And-
survivor as well.
And he's snowboarding and surfing.
Yeah.
And what he said here, that it was that using cannabis, and full spectrum CBD, not just the CBD, because a lot of people think, you just use CBDs for some of the treatments now. But he was talking about like he was smoking cannabis and using CBD full spectrum, and he felt like that is what helped him get through the MS and, the stroke.
Yeah.
He was saying don't shortchange yourself and just do the CBDs. You got to do both for it to really be effective.
Full on. Full
Yeah.
on. Yeah. That's what happens when you eat the muffin that you think that you could eat the whole thing.
Of course, of
And
course.
then you're laid up for a week.
Yeah.
That's the healing part.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like when animals, or especially dogs, when they get sick, they just crawl off in a corner somewhere
Yeah.
and they'll starve and they'll sleep for 24 hours and just let their body heal. And that's what we have to do.
Doing full spectrum like that, even if it puts you out. I mean, if you look at the old school movies, right, when it was like a Native American remedy, the person would be out like 3-4 days and then they
Easy.
pop back up brand new.
Yeah,
Brand new.
Go into hiding.
Yeah.
Well, we have some products from GCS if you want to go and talk about a few of our CBD hemp. We also have THC canna hookah for you.
Is this your company?
This
No,
is
this
Green
is-
Care Solutions.
Yeah.
They're the main sponsor for the show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we have a wide variety. I mean, those are all, we have broad spectrum, we have full spectrum on a lot of our products. That's going to be the vegan gummies right there.
Yeah.
So there's no gelatin in it, but
Vegan,
they-
vegan gummies.
yes.
Yeah, no gelatin.
You wouldn't even know the difference. It tastes absolutely amazing, but they work really well.
Now, do they have it in these child-proof containers that you need?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we might have to
exactly.
get you some help.
No, you,
You have to push down, just like Tylenol, right? You have to
Yeah.
push
But,
down and-
no, what you need is a child to open it for you.
Exactly. Yep. And then, I mean, we have everything, just like you talked about animals. We have cold pressed whole hemp dog treats.
For the
Yeah.
dogs.
So,
Is this a doggy treat?
no. That's for humans.
if you
But
start
try some.
barking, I don't know.
I used to do a bit where I'd say you get so stoned, you get the munchies. You'll eat stuff the dogs won't eat.
Yeah. Some would do. Some would try.
You got to see my.
What's this?
Your
like?
cupboard's looking a little thin. You're going to grab whatever you can.
Yeah.
And let me ask you this, Tommy.
Yeah.
Because there was a post you put up the other day, and I had to. I responded to what the post was, and it was Jimmy Kimmel talking to Seth Rogen, and how he's now in the cannabis game, and has he now bumped Cheech and Chong off of the Mount Rushmore of cannabis, and what
like,
I
no.
said. What I said is that you could never. I don't care who you are. And
No.
listen, if it's a music Mount Rushmore, that's different.
Yeah.
But we're talking about cannabis culture. So like if we're being realistic, the Mount Rushmore of cannabis culture, period, to me, in my opinion, and it's subjective, right? Everybody has their own
Yeah,
opinion.
of course.
Mine is Cheech and Chong, Peter Tosh, Bob Marley,
Yeah.
and it could either be the creator of High Times magazine, which was Sagan.
No, not Steve Hager.
Who was it? It was
I can't remember his name. The guy that killed himself.
that original guy, because I mean he put this magazine that exposed the culture out there, or Jack Herrera.
Yeah, oh, yeah, absolutely.
Definitely Jack.
Yeah.
Jack. I'd go with Jack, but I'm saying, people's lists are
Subjective.
subjective.
Yeah.
But to me, that's who, if there's a Mount Rushmore of cannabis, icons, that's these guys. And none of us could ever bump you
No.
guys off. I took offense to that, and I love Jimmy and I love Seth. But, that's
Well,
that's
it's a
crazy.
good way to get the conversation going. It's that negative publicity that people do.
Right.
And it works. It works.
Right.
It gets your attention.
Yeah.
Jimmy Kimmel is funny. He went and looked at Cheech's house when Cheech had it up for sale.
Yeah.
And I was on Kimball's show right after that. And I said, "What'd you think?" He said, "It's a weird house." I said, "Why?" He says, "Got these little rooms,
Yeah.
And
I was just in Wink Martindale's house.
what's that like?
It was crazy. It's like a old school Beverly Hills house in Calabasas.
Oh, great.
But it's nice, but it's very old school.
Old school.
Yeah, and he had this little recording room that he does all his bits from. I was tripping out. I was like, shit, oops.
Do you still have the dial phones? And
The dial phone.
He might have. I didn't pay attention
Sure,
to that.
yeah.
But it looked like, the way that it was designed, it looked like a lodge.
Yeah.
Like a real nice lodge.
Western kind of thing?
Yes.
Yeah, Western motif. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well,
man.
you've seen so much of like the Hollywood scene. I mean, you've had such a lavish career, and what's so cool with how you started. I mean, you kind of just like pitched this idea of this story that you had with two friends involving cannabis, involving just Hollywood lifestyle and fun.
Up in Smoke was supposed to be another movie. I got tired of going to Australia every year.
To make a movie.
Well, no, to do the live performances.
Oh, to do the live performances.
Yeah, Cheech and I, we were big in Australia, so we would go to Australia when it was their winter, and it was our summer, and so we would spend a winter in Australia, and then come back for the winter in L.A., and go back and forth for years, and I got tired of it. I told Cheech, I said, we got to do movies, man. We got to get out of this. And so I wrote a movie, and it was Jack and the Weed Stalk.
that made sense.
It was a great movie, great idea, where Cheech and I, we were trying to get enough money to get tickets to go see the Stones. It was the Rolling Stones at the time. And I come back, I got the tickets. No, I don't have the tickets. I instead of the tickets, I got a bag of weed.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Where's the tickets? I said, well, we need weed, to go to the concert with. And so, I traded the tickets for the weed. And the guy said, and Cheech went nuts, of course, and he takes the seeds and throws them outside. There were seeds. That's what it was.
Yeah.
And then, of course, this big pot plant grows. It's a giant thing, and we crawl up the thing, and we meet the giant and all that. And it was a good movie. I was all set to shoot it, but then Lou Adler got involved. And Lou wanted to do Cheech and Chong's greatest hits. And so instead of the greatest hits, Cheech and I, we were talking about it, and we said, it should be about Pedro and Man.
Right.
And so then we said, okay, we'll do that. And then we just wrote the movie as we went along.
So you guys didn't even have like the whole movie written out before?
Well, they always say, Cheech and Chong did Up in Smoke without a script. No, you can't do a movie without a script.
You need a script.
You need a script. Even if you write it after.
Right.
It's still a script. And so we wrote the script. We actually rewrote. Lou kept putting in the Cheech and Chong bits, which some of them were cut out of the movie. But Cheech and I, we just kept rolling, doing what we always did,
Yeah.
And, we create when we're ready to create, We were never the type that would write out something first and then ask people, what do you think? We would just do it.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Was a lot of it improvised, or you guys?
Totally. The script itself was about 40 pages.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was written on a yellow legal pad, which I still have.
Oh, wow.
Really, which I still have.
Oh, my God.
It's proof if I have to go to court.
Right.
How do you and Cheech meet?
Cheech, he was up in Canada dodging the draft. And he hurt his leg in Banff skiing because he was a Mexican that should not have been on the Black Diamond slopes. But a couple of his so-called friends took him up there and says, you ready? Okay, and they pushed him. and he went down off that mountain, and he ended up breaking his leg, compound fracture.
Ooh, that's that's horrible.
The bone sticking through the skin, that kind of thing.
Ouch.
And so he was walking around in crutches and that for a while, and of course he met this nurse that took care of him. You can stay at my house. And anyway, Cheech ended up in Calgary, where I was raised and born. Not born, but I was raised there. And he met a lot of my childhood friends. And then he moved to Vancouver. Well, after he got hurt, he ended up in Vancouver. And then he started working at, doing everything to make a living. He was a Mexican in Canada trying to make a living. The first job he got was as a cook at the. Of course, they looked at him. He's Mexican. Of course you can cook.
Of course you could cook.
So you're in there, and the first thing he was supposed to cook was a Denver sandwich. And Cheech didn't know what a Denver sandwich was.
What's a Denver sandwich?
So he just made up
I know
something.
what that is.
He just made up something. You don't know
I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
either.
it's a Canadian
and I'm
thing.
Mexican too, but maybe that's what it is.
It's a Canadian thing. But I mean, yes, a Mexican for a sandwich, you're going to get a burrito.
Right.
It's a jamón y queso.
That's a good sandwich.
And so that's what Cheech did. And of course, the thing came flying back. He lost that job, and he ended up writing for an underground paper called Poppin'. And so then, in the meantime, I had started an improv group with strippers in a strip. I owned a strip club. And by the way, you know how I got the clubs? It was kind of amazing. They were given to me.
The strippers?
No, the clubs. Strippers cost money. But
All right,
the club. The first club I had was an after-hours club. The guy bought the building, and he had a club on top. It was a dance hall, and there was an empty steakhouse below. And so he approached me and said, "Would you like a club?" And I got a band, nothing else going on. Yeah. And so we had a club, and it was empty it was really a rehearsal hall because we didn't have any money to advertise. And so all we did was play and open the doors. No one would come until I met my wife, Shelby.
Yeah.
And then she was underage when I met her. And so we were playing outside gigs to supplement our nightclub.
Right.
And so she grabbed a ride from us from the gig we were playing and to the hot club where everybody was going. And we told her, we got a club. Why don't you come to ours? And she goes, nah, no one's going that one. And so she went to the club. Because she was underage and no shoes, her and her sister.
They didn't let her in.
They didn't let her in. And so she brought everybody down to our club. And then we were packed every night from then on. And then we were given a strip club. Same thing. It was a dinner club that wasn't making any money. And so we went in there and I was the one that started Vancouver's first topless nightclub.
Wow.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah.
That's some good history
We
right
had to
there.
the girls had to wear
The
pasties
tassels or
to
something.
make it legal. Anyway, I turned it into a improvisational comedy. It was like burlesque, hippie burlesque. And then Cheech, our straight guy, quit because his wife found out what he was doing with the strippers.
Like,
And
no.
Yeah, so he got yarded away, and this mutual friend brought Cheech in, and then as soon as I saw it, Cheech walked in the door. We were backstage, and I was kind of looking. I'd met him, that earlier that week, and then he said he'd come down to check out the club, and he come down, and he walked in the door with this gorgeous woman in this full-length black mink coat. Oh, she was gorgeous. And I wasn't even looking at Cheech. I was looking at her. And I thought, this guy's hired. Because I always judge men by their women.
Right.
If they got a hot chick, they must have something going on.
Right.
So you met Cheech at a strip club then, in a sense. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and so then Cheech joined up. He joined the gang, and he was like the third guy. He was like he was writing and observing more than anything. And then we changed the audience drastically from 20 horny businessmen and bikers that would just throw money around to 300 theater goers who would sit there and count their change and sip on a glass of wine.
That must have been crazy.
So we're losing money. The club was losing money.
Because they wouldn't buy drinks.
No, they would sit there, like I say, count their change and and sip their little wine. And so my brother actually fired us. He said we have to go back to the old way. And so then the whole group fell apart, and Cheech and I stayed together. And we started a band first. We were going to play music first because he was a singer and I was a guitar player. But we thought, well, we'll do a little comedy to start off with. And that little comedy was the whole show eventually.
Yeah.
So your career has just, been amazing since, so I applaud you for that. But, when it started, I'm sure you had so much backlash because the whole cannabis was very back then. I don't know what it. I mean, I know that like the whole hippie scene was going, it was popular, but I'm sure it's kind of everybody was a little different.
Every once in a while, we'd run into it, But actually, it was like that negative publicity again, because we caused so much stir that everybody wanted to see us.
Yeah.
Like we were on Dick Clark American Bandstand.
Oh, wow.
And the first time we were on there, and I'm thinking
They didn't get it, huh?
Well, no, they did. What I did,
He got it. For sure.
I know what I did. I realized, that we're like outlaws,
Yeah.
So people are going to tune in and they want to see something, crazy.
Anti-hero.
And so what I did, I told Dick Clark, I said, listen, in the middle of the show, we're going to tear your show apart. We're going to tear it up. I says, all you have to do is just stay out of the way. just don't get in the way. And I hipped him, but I didn't tell anybody else. And so we were doing a Raider record. Remember the Raider record?
Yeah, yeah.
And so Dick plays this record and he brings it up. What do you think of this? And I said, I'll tell you what I think of it. And I grabbed it, and I ripped it up, and then I had a chain there, and I started just destroyed. I destroyed the whole set. and the Cheech and everybody else got off to the side, and I just tore up the whole set. Dick Clark went running. Everybody and the security. There was no security. The people don't. What are we going to do?
Like, what do we do?
So,
it's just a bunch of TV people.
Yeah, and so they just scattered, and we did the show, and it became, it went viral.
What viral was at that time?
Yeah.
Dick played that over and over and over again.
Because it was gold.
It was gold. Yeah.
No one had
And
ever
so
done that.
we were kind of the first to start that. Don't tell him. Well, I wasn't really.
It's
was
very
like
punk rock.
Jerry Lewis, the comedian.
Yeah.
And Jim Carrey and Robin Williams,
Mm-hmm.
they were all like that,
Oh, yeah.
And remember Bobcat, he went too far.
Yeah.
He set a couch on fire. Remember that?
Yeah, yeah.
And then he got barred from TV forever.
Yeah.
But you don't want to do that. But at the time, we wanted to, to keep
Stir it up,
The
yeah.
rock
keep
star
the outlaw
life.
thing going.
Yeah.
And that's how we started gaining our fame.
Because I think people connect to that
Yeah.
more than anything.
What's exciting?
Yeah.
Like you never see, you walk by people, they're kissing, you just ignore them, But if they're fighting, you want to hear what's going on.
Yeah.
You're like, I want to hear both sides.
Yeah, you want to hear what's going on. So it's conflict. And that's what they teach you when you're screenwriting. You can go so far, but then you need conflict.
Which is a lot of what reality TV is.
yeah.
Is now. It's all nothing like any one you watch. It's all conflict.
Yeah.
There's never one that it's all everybody's getting along and it's
Never.
harmony.
Never. It's a conflict, and then it's makeup sex.
Right.
Right.
Conflict and then makeup sex.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Well, Cheech and Chong was really built on conflict because our very first bit, I wouldn't let him in the door.
Yeah.
Because he kept saying it's Dave, and I said Dave's not here, and he goes, "What? I'm Dave, man."
Yeah.
And that was the first
Yeah.
inkling, and then when I saw that worked, it's a natural, like music, you get a riff that works. Boom.
Put your foot on the gas.
That's it, and you stay with that, and that's basically explained Cheech and Chong, because I was always the guy, that didn't really hear what he said.
Yeah. And he was always the frustrated guy. Aggroed out.
And bragging about how I could smoke anything, man. I could smoke that Tide stick. I could smoke anything. Then he takes one hit. Dude, what was in them?
He's baked.
Well, when did you first have your first cannabis experience? Like, how old were you?
I was 17.
Okay.
17, I was in a jazz club. Yeah, I used to go to this jazz club. I couldn't play jazz, but if you brought your instrument in, they think you're a musician. You get in free. So I carried my guitar, walked in the jazz club, and I got to know a lot of the people there, the jazz players. And this one Chinese guy came back from L.A., and he brought me a present. He brought me a joint and Lenny Bruce record. And I took the Lenny Bruce record and I put the joint in my pocket. And then he lit up one of his own. And it was the first time we ever got high. And I listened, I remember the music was playing. It was Ornette Coleman's Lonely Woman. And changed my life.
Wow.
I
Well,
sat
look at
there.
you now. It
Opened it
definitely changed everything.
That just
it
shows you
changed it.
cannabis helps your memory. Because if you're on anything else, there's no way you'd remember that song.
No, I mean, those events,
Yeah, you just focused in.
They change your life.
Yeah.
Well, it changed my life because I realized as soon as I smoked that joint and I heard that music, and I realized I wanted to, I just wanted to be in the business. Music. That's all I wanted to do. And I realized there's nothing at school that was teaching me anything.
Yeah.
Nothing.
They don't groom you for entertainment.
Nothing.
Even to this day, I feel like they should have taught us about taxes and financing back in
Yeah,
high
it's
school
not
or
about,
something.
they don't teach anything about life.
Nothing.
Yeah, no.
Nothing.
How to pass the test, that's it.
Actually, most schools, they're babysitting.
And performing arts schools
Yeah, they are
too.
babysitters. Yeah.
Yeah.
Performing arts schools should do that as well. Like they are the school that groom you to be an artist of some sort. But like there also has to be those economics, like to teach you the actual business, not how to be a performer in the business, but also know the business. I think there's not enough of that.
Well, what I did, I learned right away. I said, there's nothing at school for me. So I had to, but I had to work. Because one thing about Canada,
You got to work.
you got to work because you got to keep moving. It's so cold up there. You
Yes,
stop, you freeze to death.
I will agree with that.
And so you have to get it. And there's
You need
always
a warm
jobs.
roof, yeah.
There's always jobs available up there.
Yeah, you perform quite often out there too, right?
Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
We were just in Kingston last week, and it's cold there, and everybody's got 2-3 jobs. That one. If you want to work, you work. Because homeless there is kind of tough.
You
Yeah,
don't
you
survive.
cannot-
It's not
yeah,
like
you
you're in
cannot-
downtown LA.
Yeah, you can't survive a winter.
But there's always something to do in Canada. Even if you're sitting there, they'll give you something to fix, or
yeah, here, do this.
yeah, put this together, or
Keep it
watch
moving.
watch the kid. Yeah, okay, you watch the kid. There's always something to do in Canada.
Yeah.
It's only down here, or Mexico, or nice warm countries that you can kind of kick back and
Yes,
yeah, and
People-
pick the food off the tree.
people are chilling way too hard. What do you think about the cannabis scene in Canada now?
Well, I describe Canada as a drunk that just woke up from a hangover, and all of a sudden weed's legal. Now what are we going to do?
What do we
You
do
know
with
what's really good? It's so poetic. The people that have no restrictions on their cannabis sales, use, or anything are the natives.
that? Yeah, that's
res,
awesome.
The res. That's where I was up there. They paid me a big lump of money to go up there, and they started their own weed maps
Yeah,
app.
Oh, okay.
And so I got an app going up there in Canada. But because Canada said, they got a law saying you can't have celebrity endorsements.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like Snoop Dogg tried it and they shut him down. Willie tried it, they shut him down. I never tried it because I'm Canadian. I know that how stupid they can be. So what you do, you use that like negative. You use it the other way. And I found out that when Paris and my son found out that the natives they don't have any restrictions.
Yeah.
And I found out that I'm 8% native.
nice.
Yeah. And I told the guy, he said, man, great, man. Okay, you're one of us. And I'm definitely going to be one of them.
Well, thank you everyone for tuning in here to Green Talk. I'm Yenitza Munoz, and here with my amazing co-host.
I've been Bryan Gonzales, and I appreciate you, Tommy, for coming on.
My pleasure.
Word up, I'm Breal. Follow me on Instagram. Check out the Dr. Green Thumb dispensaries. And man, thank you, Tommy.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
They're always nice.
Thank you. Till next time, everyone.